Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a hypnosis session created for a former high-level lawyer, a trial attorney that was used to being hypervigilant and incredibly prepared, and got to the upper levels of that industry and then pivoted towards a different type of industry where they could take that skill set but help others in a different way, almost using law as a metaphor to kind of help their clients and who they're working with. And what you're going to hear in this session is, I think, a very powerful metaphor inspired by, I believe, a Sun Tzu quote, maybe Buddha quote, but I think it might be Sun Tzu, which is, "It is better to be a warrior in the garden than a gardener in the war." And what this really means is that it's better to have power and competency and almost ruthlessness and not need it than really need it and not have it. And obviously, years of being a high-powered lawyer, it's going to give you a certain level of skills, almost like a superpower. But that doesn't mean you have to use them. And what you're going to get a sense of here is a real feeling of an option without the obligation. And it uses not just a warrior, but an elegant warrior as a metaphor in that garden. And I think it's very useful to see how resource states that were useful in one context could be useful in a different context. And I think even though it was created for a very specific individual, if you feel like you're over-prepared or putting too much pressure on yourself, even when it's not optimal for you, I think you might benefit from this session. So find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in a slow, deliberate, calm breath. And as you release it, have a sense of releasing any tension, any echoes of stress, any worries, particularly those worries that are unfounded. Feel them leaving your body, and as you breathe in just 1% deeper than you did before. And as you exhale just slightly longer, elongating that outward breath, noticing that the deeper you breathe, the easier it is to release tension, relax muscles. You notice the breath is getting lower, not from your throat, your chest, but gradually, breath by breath, sinking down towards the diaphragm. The deeper you breathe, the more relaxed you become. And the more relaxed you become, the deeper you breathe. And allow that cycle to take you deeper and deeper relaxed, releasing any tension in your forehead, jaw, neck and shoulders. Feeling a wonderful sensation, ripples of relaxation. Imagine cells resonating like the surface of a pond where a pebble is thrown in the middle. As you imagine those ripples of relaxation vibrating at a cellular level to every part of your body, notice that your head feels lighter, your arms and legs feel heavier, breathing even deeper. Eyelids, just imagine them feeling so heavy now. Imagine yawning just in your imagination, realizing that even an imaginary yawn can make you feel more relaxed, that you're drifting off to a place of change. As your body relaxes, your imagination awakens. And I want you to imagine being in an art gallery and seeing a painting of a Japanese water garden. Imagine intricate fountains, sculptures. Just imagine incredible flowers and plants. Perhaps even imagine koi swimming around in a pond. And somewhere in this beautiful garden, I want you to see a geisha warrior. Not just any geisha warrior. See them holding a sharp samurai sword. But see them exquisitely dressed. The most elegant warrior you could imagine. And see the warrior in the garden, in the painting. And if you could imagine seeing that, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to imagine how it would feel to step into the painting, to feel that you are in a garden maybe 200 or 300 years ago. There is a sense of serenity in this garden, peace, calmness. Imagine perhaps a smell in the air coming from the flowers. Maybe the sound of the fountain cascading into the water. And I want you to observe this elegant warrior. I want you to see that they are calm, composed, relaxed. I want you to get a sense that this warrior doesn't lose any of their fighting skills because they're in a garden. Their capacity to deal with danger, threats, still exists, even though they're in a garden and not a battlefield. And allow your mind to make an evaluation that it is better to be the warrior in the garden than the gardener in the war. And make the evaluation that you are the elegant warrior in the garden. As you step into the body of this geisha warrior, feel the sense of power, strength, strategic thinking. You do not fear what may happen if the enemy enters the garden, because your resources exceed any demands. If needed, those skills and competencies would be activated intuitively and immediately. Having the power gives you the option without the obligation. As you feel that you are safe and secure, and that in this phase of your life, you've chosen to leave the battlefields to find new environments, new terrains that could utilize your skills without the need for ferocious battles. So instead, enjoy the garden. Perhaps you could imagine a chair, perhaps made of bamboo, resting by the side of a fountain, looking out over a picturesque garden. And imagine relaxing in that chair, knowing that your sword is nearby if needed, without feeling any need to use it. So as you relax and make yourself calm and comfortable there in that chair, feel a sense of liberation. Feel that you stand on a solid foundation built by your past efforts and endeavors, now ready to make the most of every opportunity. Feel a sense of immense gratitude and pride for all you have accomplished so far. You can recognize your worth and feel credible and accomplished because of your past experiences. You have earned this chapter in your life. You are inspired to leverage your current skills and positioning and reputation to create even more opportunities. You recognize the privilege that you've created, and you embrace it and use it wisely to increase anything you would consider success. Scan your body for where you feel that sense of freedom and liberation, a sense of abundance, of opportunities. You have all of the options and none of the obligations. You've chosen this life. realize just how many areas of your life you're discerning. Maybe with food, clothes. Feel that discernment mapping across to other areas of your life. How to spend your time, decisions to make. Your discernment will enable you to bring the best return on the investment of your time, energy, and emotions. Applying the Pareto principle, knowing that sometimes just 20% of the effort will give you 80% of the return. And you can prepare, of course, but notice how much easier preparation is for you. Easy for you to know how to construct solid arguments, persuasive principles, and even talks, projects, or networking events. Sometimes you can just go with the flow, knowing that the preparation is already there. Feel that you embody the strength of a warrior in the garden, prepared and powerful in all situations. As you can feel like you have latent superpowers ready to be activated whenever needed. And you can worry less because you recognize your inner strength and potential. Unlike others, you can trust in your ability to succeed with ease, knowing that you have the skills and knowledge required. Feel that sense of confidence in your capacity to handle any challenge that comes your way, and release any hesitancy to use those skills to gain commitment, consensus agreement on those things that could lead to even more commercial success. And knowing that when you do a good job, it leads to additional opportunities. It becomes impossible not to view every new opportunity as a chance to build upon your past successes. Every achievement is simply a springboard for future growth. So give yourself permission to feel a deep sense of accomplishment, worthiness, knowing that you have laid a strong foundation for all of the future success that awaits you. You can appreciate the journey that has brought you to this powerful stage in your life. And just because you don't need to be thinking 3 or 4 moves ahead, doesn't mean that it won't naturally happen every now and then. As you feel empowered to make strategic decisions that align with your long-term goals. So imagine standing up from that chair. And imagine holding that sharp samurai sword. Imagine the swoosh as you wield the sword, knowing that the elegant warrior can can never forget how to be a warrior. But also knowing that a warrior doesn't need to fight just because they can. And as you acknowledge these new perspectives, unlocking powerful resources, and letting go of unnecessary worries, perhaps it's time to leave the garden. But you leave the garden taking with you all these wonderful changes, keeping what is good and releasing what is no longer needed. As you are a warrior in the garden, no longer the battlefield. And when you're ready to return, let me know by nodding your head. So imagine stepping backwards from within a painting back into a gallery, taking all those changes with you. As you take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose, just wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Connect fully with the present moment as I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.